Well, speaking of our home here in Aulani, the story that I'm going to share with you folks this afternoon is a story I love to tell out here. Because this is a story that's reflecting the world around us right here in the middle of Waikolohe Valley. Now in the folklore, the stories of old Maui, there are lots of different kinds of characters. Yeah, there's gods, there's goddesses, there's princesses and wizards, but there's one hero that stands head and shoulders above everybody else. And that is one called Maui. And Maui was a demigod. He had special powers, you can't see the story. He was also mortal like you and me. And Maui was known for many things. He was known for being very kolohe. Ho'opiliwai, repeat after me. Kolohe.
Kolohe.
So I say rascally in Hawaiian. You folks know anybody that's kolohe? I get the feeling I can smell the kolohe in the air this afternoon. See, kolohe maybe runs in the family, yeah? Kolohe means rascally, mischievous, troublesome. And the menuhune, well, in here, in fact, Maui was known to be very kolohe, very rascally. He was Maui the kolohe, Maui the trickster, Maui the mischief maker. He was also known for being very akamai. Ho'opiliwai, repeat after me, akamai.
Akamai.
That's how you say smart in Hawaii. Folks know anybody that's akamai? Bearded, wearing a cape,
this lady.
Standing very close to an open flame. Indeed, akamai means smart. So he was Maui the akamai, Maui the clever, Maui the kolohe. Above everything else, Maui loves his mother. And his mother, she was the goddess Hina. And Hina was a kapa maker. Kapa, some of you might know this already. Kapa is a kind of cloth made from the bark of the wild cane or paper mulberry tree. You would use back in the days of old-fashioned clothing out of. You'd actually see examples of wild cane growing out in front of those long mountains. They're these tall, skinny things. If you want to make copper from it, what you do is you cut them down when they're kind of young, and then you strip the bark off those sticks, giving you these long, skinny strips of bark, which are not that comfortable to wear in and of themselves. So what you do is you soak in water for a few days, so it's nice and salty, and then you pull out those strips, soft and soaking wet, and you lay them on an anvil, one piece next to another, next to another, next to another, and then you take your ie kuku, your kapa beater, and you pound the kapa into submission, binding the pieces together to go from these individual strips to one nice wide piece of kapa, bark cloth. But now the kapa you've made is soaking wet, yeah? So you gotta hang it up to dry. And here's where you get to the issue of the story. You see, back in the days of old, Kala, the sun out there getting ready to go to bed. Well, back in the days of old, the sun didn't behave like it does now. These days, the sun takes a long, leisurely walk across the sky from sunup to sundown, giving us plenty of time to do all the things we want to do. But back in the days of old, the sun was very arrogant. He was very stuck up. He was very selfish and full of himself. You see, back then, the sun had many beautiful legs, and he loved to show off these legs of his. And the best way he knew how to do that was he would run across the sky as fast as he could. And as he was running across the sky, he would look down at the people below. And he would say, "Look at me! I'm the sun! I'm so fast and awesome!" So the days were very short, and the nights were very long, and that kapa, well, it never got dry. So one day, Maui's mother, Hina, she went to her son, and she said, "Maui, what is wrong with Kala? What is wrong with the sun? Doesn't he know that if he runs so fast like that across the sky, he doesn't leave any time for all the work to be done? There's no time for our kapa to dry." And Maui, being the young man that he was at the time, he thought to himself, "Yeah, there's no time for me to play. There's no time for me to fly my lupe, to fly my kite." And he looked up at his beloved mother and he said, "Mother, somebody must do something to change the sun's ways. And I know just the person why. I will be the one to get the sun to slow down." Now Maui, as we know, he was very kolohe, yeah? And he was no small part arrogant himself, to be quite frank with you. He was also akamai, and he knew enough to know they didn't know what to do just yet. So what he did was he found himself a nice comfortable spot. He watched, he observed, as the sun made its way across the sky. "Look at me, I'm the sun!" One day, "Look at all my beautiful legs!" 2 days, "I am so fast and awesome!" And after 3 days, he came up with a plan. And what he did was he went out and collected coconuts. And he took all these coconuts and he hushed them on a stake, pulling them apart. And he took the fibers from inside those husks and he spun them together to make strings. And he took those strings and he braided them together again and again and again and again and again to make himself a nice big thick kaula, a rope with which he fashioned himself a lasso to catch the sun. And then he made his way up into the kuahiwi, up into the mountains. And there he found himself a nice big sturdy tree. And he broke from that tree a nice big sturdy branch. And from that branch he fashioned himself a nice big sturdy ko'o, a club with which to convince the sun. And then he made his way up to the mountain called Halakala, a mountain whose very name means house of the sun. And there he found himself a spot near the peak. And in the pitch black, still silent darkness of the pre-dawn night, he hid himself away. And he waited, patiently, until suddenly, pow, the sun burst forth. Look at me, I'm a who is tying me up? Don't you know who I am? I'm the sun! And I'm awesome! And there at the end of the road was Maui. And Maui said, it is I, Maui, son of Hina. I am here to get you to slow down. When you run so fast like that, you don't leave any time for all the work to be done. There's no time for my mother's kapa to dry. And there's no time for me to fly my kite. So what are you doing, son? Will you slow down? And there, bound up in the ropes, the sun looked down at Maui. And the sun said, never! I don't have to help you, little man. I'm the sun. And like I said, I'm awesome. And so Maui took that club of his, and he swung it above his head, and pow! He negotiated with the sun. Until the sun's legs fell away. And the sun said, oh, my legs! And Maui said, now, son, now will you do it? Now will you slow down? And again, the sun looked down at Maui. And the sun said, never! I still have lots of legs. I'm still fast. I'm still awesome. I'm still not going to help you. And again, Maui took that club of his, and he swung it above his head, and pow! He renegotiated. And even more of the sun's legs fell away. And the sun said, ah! And Maui said, no, son. Now have you learned your lesson? Now will you just slow down already? And once more the sun looked down at Maui. And the sun said, no! And Maui took that club of his, and he swung it above his head. And the sun suddenly said, okay, just stop with the negotiating. It knocked off most of my legs. I just have these two surprisingly good-looking legs left. I'm probably not as fast as I used to be. I think we can work something out here, Maui. And Maui said, do you promise? And the sun said, yeah, sure, whatever, yeah, I promise. And Maui said, do you pinky promise? And the sun said, really? I mean, yes. I pinky promise that I will slow down, so that there will be time enough for all the work to be done, time enough for your mother's kapa to dry, and time enough for you to go and fly your kite, little man. So these days, the sun no longer sprints across the sky as fast as he can. These days, the sun takes a long, leisurely stroll, giving us plenty of time to do all the things you want to do, to go down the slides, to go snorkel the beach, time enough to listen to a story, time enough to enjoy sunset, all because Maui so loved his mother. I love to share this story when I'm out here, because when I look up at that mural, on the Makai side, on the ocean side of the Waianae Tower, there's a young man in the mural. You might see Maui himself. And in his hands you'll find that kola, that magical rope of his. He's falling up to the top, you'll see his indeed wrapped around the legs, the rays of the sun holding it there in place. And below the sun you'll find that lupe, that kite of Maui's fluttering in the breeze. On the opposite side of Waikolohe Valley, behind these trees, there you'll find the goddess Hina, pounding out her kapa and hanging up to dry. As I say, a story reflecting the world around us. Well, keep your eyes out, Ohana. There's lots more stories to be discovered out here. I'll be back out here to share some more olelo later on. But right now, I gotta go change more light bulbs, yeah? And nothing helps an uncle change light bulbs more than having his own traveling, if somewhat fiery assistant. Wow! So until we meet again, ahui ho akuno. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Yay.